You are listening to Verb a Minute, where words do remain.
The famously proclaimed father of democracy in Hong Kong finds himself behind bars today. Martin Lee is the 82-year-old barrister-politician who has been convicted, just like other prominent Cantonese faces, for the pro-democracy protest of August 2019. But how did he get here? Why did he come out of political retirement? How did the star of Hong Kong's struggle for democratic values end up facing charges? Greetings and welcome to another episode of the podcast series Right the Wrongs. Every Wednesday and Friday, Right the Wrong raises public awareness on pressing human rights issues and creates an incubator of activism. In this episode, we are discussing the life of Martin Lee, the founder of the Democratic Party of Hong Kong, and his role in pro-democracy movements within Hong Kong in the last few decades. If in the end it was two journalists, Dmitry Muratov and Maria Ressa, who were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, Martin Lee was a serious contender for it. Born in Hong Kong in 1938, he studied law in England and then began practicing in Hong Kong in 1966. He served as the chairman of the Bar Association from 1980 to 1983. He also got involved in discussions on Hong Kong's retrocession to China. In 1985, he joined the Basic Law Drafting Committee. He was, however, expelled for condemning the Beijing government after the 1989 Tiananmen Square incident. "I'm asking you one more time. Do you accept this white paper?" Lee shouted, raising a copy of the proposal into the air. "No," the crowd yelled in response. "Neither do I," he screamed, throwing the paper to the ground. The proposal was then burned. A pro-democracy banner tied to a bunch of balloons was raised in the sky. This was Martin Lee in early 1988, addressing a rally against the British White Paper proposal. It was an embarrassing reply to demands for direct democracy in the city, when it was still a British colony. Lee was able to walk away untouched by this direct contempt against the British government, and went to win the elections that followed their demands. Then, in 1990, he founded the pro-democracy party of the city, the United Democrats of Hong Kong, which later became the Democratic Party. He worked with the last British Hong Kong governor, Chris Patten, in order to put in place a democratic constitutional reform, but the retrocession in 1997 meant that he had to step down. Since then, he continued to lobby locally and internationally for more democracy in the area. The situation of Hong Kong is quite peculiar. It used to be a British colony, and after the retrocession in 1997, it became a special administrative region of China. It is under Chinese rule, but has its own judicial, political, legislative, economic, and financial system. There have been many protests in the last 20 years. However, the biggest and the most consequential one was the movement that took place from 2019 to 2020. It was a response to the introduction of a bill that would allow the Hong Kong government to transfer criminals more easily, especially toward Beijing. Peak of the protest was reached on the 9th of June 2019, when hundreds of thousands of protesters filled up the streets. After the government suspended the bill, an even bigger protest broke out to push for its withdrawal, and as a reaction to the excessive use of force by the Hong Kong police. This led to a protest movement asking for more democracy, that was shut down by the National Security Law, passed on the 30th of June 2020. It allowed the establishment of an office outside of Hong Kong jurisdiction to administer enforcement of the law. This law is responsible for the arrest of many pro-democracy activists. Martin Lee and other important pro-democracy figures like Jimmy Lee were arrested in April 2020 for organizing, publicizing, or taking part in unauthorized protests between August and October 2019. As it was his first time being arrested on account of his pro-democracy activism, he explained that he had no regret and that he was proud of his work. He stated, "I feel proud that I have a chance to walk this path of democracy together with the outstanding youngsters being arrested and persecuted." It is important to note that some young protesters criticize Lee and other moderate activists due to the ineffectiveness of using peaceful means to achieve democracy. Nonetheless, Lee's devotion for the democracy cause in Hong Kong is what led to him being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. The two Norwegian parliamentarians Mathilde Tybor-Jedin and Peter Folich, who nominated Lee, said he was a source of inspiration for the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong and advocates for freedom around the world. His peaceful work to ensure democratic institutions and political and civil rights, even in the face of tensions from mainland China, led to him being recognized. Frolich has even stated that he devoted his life to the cause. Even if he was not granted the Nobel Peace Prize, his work and activism inspired a whole generation of activists. But now, as Beijing continues its crackdown on Hong Kong dissidents and self-governance, the chance for free speech and freedom seems to be getting narrower and narrower. Lee is behind bars, facing an 11-month conviction for participating without permission in protests in 2019. He is also suspended from the Hong Kong bar for 24 months. While his actions are being reinvestigated, his future remains uncertain. That's the end of today's episodes on Martin Lee. Feel free to engage with us on Facebook and Instagram, and join us for further discussions on our Telegram group. Or leave us an email at theverbomanentpodcast@gmail.com. This episode was written by Zineb and Sanshit, produced by Ines, and brought to you by Right the Wrongs under Verbomanen. The next episode of Right the Wrongs will air on Friday. You can find the program wherever you find your podcast, bringing you detailed updates on pressing human rights issues. Till next time, take care.